Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Dark Archeon here, and I know that I missed out on last week, or not last week, but last Wednesday. It was a rough week. There's been a lot going on. Hello, Fluffy. Welcome back to the stream. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I did see your chat, but I'll get to you in just a minute. Okay. All right. So as per the norm, I do have Dauntless with me here in the Discord. Say hi.
Hello.
Also with Dauntless is Jopo as well, off in the background. We may hear from him at some point tonight. I don't know. Kind of depends on what he's got going on. Now, anyway, so as per the usual, it is the Warframe Weekly Reset. So we've got a new Archon hunt, we've got new Duviri stuff, we've got new Invigorations, we've got stuff with Teshin, we got a lot of stuff, right? Of course, the Nightwave. There is an update coming very soon. I haven't looked at the notes. I have been so busy this week. It's just been insane. I wasn't sure if I was going to even stream tonight, to be honest. Anyway, so as per the description down below, if you take a look down there, there's some information in there about the Trevor Project. It is a not for profit organization dedicated to helping youth in crisis in the LGBTQIA plus community. So if you or someone you know is contemplating suicide, reach out, please, whether that be to me, to someone. There are links below for support as well. There is also a link to donate if you should be in a position to do so and want to pay it forward. Just remember that even one life is too many. All right. So, moving on. We have tonight up for taps, as mentioned, we have the Warframe Weekly Reset. I also am going to go over some D&D lore for my campaign. So if I get to that, great. If not, that's okay too. I have an idea as to where I want to go with the Cult of the Creator Dragons. So I will get to that afterwards. All right, let's get right into it then, shall we? So let's see. We are at day 537. We got some Oxium here. All right, let's claim that. Thank you, Ortis. Let's go ahead and get off that. All right, so let's see. Let's just hop right into it, shall we? All right, this week's Archon hunt should be Boreal. It is. So I'm at a 20% chance for Boreal. I believe we all got Tauforged last week or last time, didn't we? Dauntless?
Yeah, I believe me and Shockwave both had 100% chance.
Yes, and I had like a 40 or something like that, and I still got it too. So either way, let's see. We don't usually look at the sortie, but might as well. So the sortie is a daily, not a weekly, and you can get some pretty decent rewards from these. You can get a legendary core, you can get some potatoes, you can get a Exilus adapter, Kuva, and 3-day boosters. So these 3-day boosters, they can be a mod drop chance booster, not just a regular drop chance or a drop booster, but a mod drop chance booster, which increases endo, arcanes, and mods, of course, from drops from enemies, which is fantastic. Your Iatan sculptures are obviously going to be for turned into endo with Maru and Maru's Bazaar. But let's see what we have. We have... Oh, get off of that. So there's a sale going on. Events, we have some Thermia Fractures. Let's look at some alerts. Ah, yes, the new Corruption alert, which is only available for another 11 hours. So we'll need to do that for Depleted Reload, which is a really good mod. This is for Sans magazine capacity, increased reload speed. I believe it's only for sniper rifles. This is something that I use well with the it's a sniper rifle. It's the velocity. No, it starts with a V. I know I have it. I'll look at it in a second. Hang on. The Vectus. That's it. The Vectus Prime. It has a 2-round mag. And there is... So if you have this all the way up, you only have 1 round. Oh, okay. If you're still on, I will throw you another clan invite later. You might actually already be listed in the clan, so we'll look at that in a little bit, Fluffy. But there's another mod that means the first round in the mag does 100% extra damage. So every shot that you do with the Vectis Prime is going to be doing double damage. Which is it's a really good niche build for it. It's not used for a whole lot else. Anyway, let's look at the Oh, I'm on Steel Path, so let's get off of that. Switch to this. Let's take a look at the invasions. We got Fieldron, Carrick Wraith Barrel, Dara Vandal Receiver, Mutagen Mass, Dara Vandal Blueprint, and Strun Wraith Stock, and then some Fieldron and Detonite Injectors. So these are always worth running too. Alright, let's take a look at Deimos. Not Deimos, but Duviri. That's the word. Yes. Alright, what do I have? Not Mesa. Okay. Stradivar Prime, the Galaxian, Carius, Coalstar. Okay, kind of dookie. Alright, regular path circuit. Let's see what we got this week. We have Mesa, Chroma, and Atlas. So out of these, Mesa's kind of the hard one to get here. So Atlas, while not difficult to get, is annoying to get. So Atlas, you have to do the Jordas Golem quest, and then you have to go fight the Jordas Golem to farm the parts for Atlas, which isn't super hard to do, especially if you have like the Kuva Grattler, or it's a decent Arcwing setup. I know Arcwing isn't everybody's favorite cup of tea, but it's pretty good. I enjoy Arcwing. It's definitely a change of pace from your regular mission grind. Chroma you get just by completing your junctions. You get all the parts, and then you have to do the new Strange quest. As far as Mesa is concerned, she's probably going to be the most difficult one to get, primarily because of the time gate associated to it. It's not really a time gate, but it kind of is. So Mesa you get from the Mutalus Alad V fight on Eris, but you have to have a key, the Mutalus Alad V nav coordinate, to go actually fight him. And you only get those from invasions. So they don't pop up all that often. You just have to kind of keep an eye on the invasions. So when they do pop up, make sure you're doing those to gather them, because you're not guaranteed all 3 parts in 3 runs.
We learned that the hard way.
The Sun and Moon... As far as the best weapons in the game, Fluffy, I'm going to show you something in just a minute. And you're going to understand just how broken the phrase "the best gun in the game" is. Shockwave, welcome to the Discord. Say hi to the stream, Shockwave.
Yo.
So I'll show you what the phrase "best weapon in the game" means, because it's not those. Anyway, out of the 3 of these for Mesa, Chroma, and Atlas, Mesa's going to be probably the most tricky one to get normally. So if you don't have them, go for Mesa. As a reminder, you also are going to get a augment mod for whichever frame you pick at rank 7. For Mesa, it is Mesa's Waltz, which is an absolute critical mod to use for Mesa.
See.
Alright, for Steel Path this week, we have the Torrid Incarnin. This is commonly referred to as the meta best weapon in game for just room clearing in general. It is pretty incredible. There's some really amazing builds for it. However, your Incarnin weapons overall are pretty broken in general and can clear rooms. If you have any one of these, you could clear Steel Path pretty easily, if you know what you're doing. Like I said, Fluffy, I'm going to show you something, and you're going to go, huh? Alright, we've also got the dual Toxicist, dual Ichor, the Miter, and the Atomos. The Miter Incarnin is actually ridiculous.
Really?
It is. I've seen some really good builds with it, And for the Incarnate build, it does a lot of stuff because it bounces heat damage explosives. Because the interactions with heat procs and how they stack, you can do some pretty interesting stuff with the Miter Incarnate.
If you want to see a busted melee weapon, dual Ichor Incarnate.
Dual Ichor Incarnate is fantastic, especially for a good Saren build. Anyway, now if you do already have all the Incarnates and you're not looking for something that has a duplicate, you can also, of course, go for one of the base Riven mods or get some Kuva. A lot of the time when you pick your Incarnates anyway, what I have seen, typically Icon 6 or Tier 6 here is either an Arcane or a Riven anyway, so keep that in mind.
If you want, I still do have my dual Ichor Saren build if you want to show off stupid broken weapons.
We absolutely can, but here in just a moment, okay? Alright, let's take... Right now I'm still going over all the weekly stuff. So, for the weekly challenges for the Nightwave, we have win 3 wagers in a row without letting the enemy score in one match of the index. That is fun and easy if you have a good team. Kill the Exploiter Orb. That's a hard pass for me. I mean, I can do it. It's just a pain in the butt. And you have to be rank 5 with Solaris United to be able to even start this. So it's annoying. Alright. Of course, we have the...
Orb. Isn't that the one that's out in the open?
No, that's the Prophet Taker.
Oh, right. The Exploiter is the other one.
Yeah, the Prophet Taker is the one that sits on top of that central location in the Orbalis on Venus. But the Exploiter Orb is the other one. And you have to have done Thermia Fractures to go fight it anyway.
You have to do 30 what?
Thermia Fractures. Because you need condensed Thermia.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway. Of course, there's the Kill 30 Eximus, complete missions, and then kill enemies. We also have, for this weekly, clear a Railjack boarding party without your Warframe taking damage. I mean, that'd be easy if you run, like, Revenant.
Yeah.
Complete 3 Railjack missions. Complete a mission with only a melee weapon equipped. Complete a mission with only a primary equipped. Kill enemies with blast damage. So that's what we have for the week and the dailies. So
The last one is stupid easy.
So to answer your question, Fluffy, yes and no, and I'll show you in just a moment. So, all right, down here, what do I have anything to pick up? I do not. So, to go back to your earlier statement in regards to the best weapon in the game, I have a build that I like to refer to as my scrub killer build. All right? This is one I used to take into PvP when Conclave was still kind of a new thing. However, my scrub killer build is base Excalibur, the MK1 Bratton, the MK1 Kunai, and the MK1 Bow. All of the base default weapons and frame in the game, right? I annihilate with this build. The MK1 Bratton has the ability to equip the Incarnate Adapter. I also have it.
Yeah, which puts that Mark 1 on the same tier as the Bratton Prime.
Yes, it does. Oh, yes. Now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and drop Primary Deadhead on this. Yes, Fashion Frame is endgame. Anyway, I'm going to drop Primary Deadhead on this, and I have 7 Forma on my MK1 Bratton, and I can make this build better still. I have 3,500 damage as my damage multiplier on the MK1 Bratton, which has no critical and no status. I can take this into Steel Path and clear it easily. On the base starter gun that you get in the tutorial. Actually, no, you don't get the MK1 Bratton in the tutorial. You get the basic Bratton.
Yeah. So this is even weaker than the base starter gun.
Correct.
Okay. Now,
The MK1 Bratton is... search. Oh. I don't have the Bratton Prime. How do I not have the Bratton Prime? I thought I did. Alright, well. The base Bratton does 68 damage total. The base MK1 Bratton does. The Bratton Prime does more. It also has a higher crit chance. Basically, any primed version of anything, weapon or Warframe, has generally higher base stats and typically comes with a polarity already installed.
but those higher base stats are usually like less than 10%.
It's not substantial.
It's like 2, maybe 3% more.
There are a few cases where a varying gun, like a variant gun, changes the main IPS damage from, in this case, slash to puncture. There are a few cases like that, like the Gorgon, for example. While the Gorgon, back in type today, there's the Gorgon Wraith, there's also the Prisma Gorgon. I need to upgrade this. But for the Gorgon Wraith, it does impact damage, while the Prisma Gorgon, I believe, does puncture.
No, Prisma Gorgon is still impact weighted.
Is it? One of them is different.
The Prisma Gorgon has 30% base crit chance. That's the thing, is the Prisma Gorgon is really, really heavy crit numbers.
You're right. Like the stream kind of broke again?
Mm-hmm.
You are going in and out, babes. That's on my side, though.
Yeah, it completely ended for me as well, and then it popped back up.
Okay, that's weird. Yeah, my download speed is not nearly what it's supposed to be. Neither is my upload speed. Alright. Anyway, sorry about that. That is weird that it does that.
No.
Alright. Anyway. The whole idea why it's so important is that any weapon can be modded and built in such a way that it can do almost any content.
Mm-hmm.
You can take the base tier 1 weapons. Okay, good. You can take the base tier 1 weapons of my Scrub Killer build, the MK1 set, right? And you can make it fantastic if you know how to build it. I mean, granted, they're not going to really compete with something like the Torrid Incarnon, which is, it came out much later in the game and its stats are kind of power crept to match, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no real comparison between the two of them, but it does make the weapons relevant. So you can use them if you enjoy a weapon and it's fun for you to use, you can do that with any weapon on any content.
The good thing with this game is that while yes, there is power creep, it isn't insane power creep. Like, you compare power creep in Warframe to, like, power creep in Pokemon. The power creep in Pokemon is so stupid anymore that if you're not using anything, like, if you aren't using specific characters, you cannot compete at all.
So one of the other things that DE has done to help kind of avoid power creep is Riven mods.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Riven mods are special mods. They are specifically for certain weapons. All right? Every weapon has this thing called a Riven disposition, right? So yeah, I panicked the first time that happened too. But Riven mods, how these work is every weapon has a Riven disposition. The higher the disposition, in this case 5, the more powerful the Riven mod is for that weapon. So typically, every quarter, is it every 3 months? Every 90 days, or is it every 30 days?
Mm-mm. Anymore, it's whenever there's an update.
So
like a major update.
Any major update, they know how often certain weapons are used, right? Like there's categories as to show what your most commonly used weapons are and stuff like that. So what they do is they find the weapons that are used the most by the general player. And those weapons are typically set with a low Riven disposition. So a Riven mod isn't going to be as effective for that weapon like the Taured Incarnate. However,
yeah, because I'm pretty sure the Taured has a Riven dispo of 1.
It does. However, other weapons like the MK1 Braddon, which is almost never used. Yeah, it does.
No, the Taured has a Riven dispo of 4.
What? Really?
Yeah.
However, other weapons, kind of like... Let's take the Canter, for example. It's a new weapon, right? They all start off at a Riven disposition of 1. This is a new weapon that came out with Jade. So, any Riven for her, or for this particular weapon, is not going to have the same stats as a weapon with a higher Riven disposition. So, it allows you to take a weapon that is not used very often and make it really, really strong and more comparable to other weapons.
The reason for the Taurids being so high is that they only adjust the Riven disposition by 1 tick every however many months.
Yeah.
So
it's
when
been
the Taured
slowly
Incarnate
decreasing.
first came out, the Taurid was at a 5. People didn't really use the Taurid a whole lot, so it stayed at a 5. And then the Taurid Incarnate picked up in popularity, and they've started to knock it down a bit by bit. So right now it's a 4, but the next time that a Riven or that an update comes out, it might get knocked down to a 3, based off of how much it gets used. It's a meta weapon, but not enough people use it to warrant knocking its Riven dispo down.
Because any weapon can be used. Anyway,
right.
Moving on to the rest of the weekly stuff. We have Invigorations. This week we have Volt, 200% primary crit chance for 5 jump resets. I believe these are unique to every player too.
Yeah.
There was a lot I was saying by the weapon room, so I'm not sure. For Mirage, we have 200% melee critical chance and 70% reload speed. Melee critical on Mirage could be interesting with a Hollow Mirrors. build.
What is it? Hollow Mirrors and Cleaving Whirlwind.
And melee influence.
Mm-hmm.
That could be an interesting build. For Gyre, we have 200% secondary critical chance. I want it on my Mesa. And 75% ability efficiency.
Oh, that would have been perfect on Mesa.
I know. Oh, I want this.
Did you know that statistically Mesa actually has a lower chance of appearing in Invigorations than other characters?
I believe it.
There's certain characters like Mesa and Sarah that statistically have a lower
I've never seen
chance.
Mesa in here.
Nope.
I've never seen Mesa, and I don't think I've seen Saren, but maybe once.
It's certain characters have a out of a scale of 1 to 100, certain characters have some characters have a 4, most characters have 3. Mesa has 1 out of 100 chance.
I can see the ephemera off of my operator in the back.
It's weird.
Thanks for hanging out, Fluffy. Have a good night. Alright, let's go ahead and hit Iron Wake and the usual bits.
More for me.
Shockwave. So, moving on to a little bit of a D&D conversation here.
Sure.
I have some more lore for you in regards to Leonin.
Leonin the species?
Tales of Leonin, which is my campaign. Leonin,
Oh, right.
Leonin is the world.
Yeah. I am what we in the business call stupid.
I mean,
No. Be nice. Rule number 1.
I'm allowed to be self-deprecating, okay?
no, that's my job.
Screw you.
We have a
Anyway,
spicy one.
tell me a scary story, big-nosed Italian man.
What?
First of all, he's not Italian.
I don't care. He looks like Mario. He's got that big old nose.
What? What?
Dude got a schnoz that'll put a clown to shame.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
No.
If Dauntless walked up and squoze in your nose, that it'd go, huh?
I'm gonna keep my insults to myself because I don't want to get banned. Like from my own stream.
Yeah. You don't want
From my own.
you don't want YouTube to be like, hey yo, what are you talking about in here? Knock it off.
Pretty much. Do your parents change the subject anytime your name is brought up in conversation?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Are you sure?
My parents don't talk.
Case in point.
My parents have been divorced since I was 6.
Do either one of them like just change the subject when your name gets brought up in conversation?
Not that I know of. Where is this going?
You're the human version of a participation trophy.
Oh, thanks.
We knew that.
You look like you wipe back to front.
You look like you eat a corn dog the long way.
You're not supposed to?
Without biting.
You look like you couldn't qualify for a
Yeah.
loan.
You're not supposed to? You can qualify for a loan. Couldn't or could?
Could not. Like a debt consolidation loan at that.
I already qualified good.
You sound like you would be
My
really,
mom
really...
said, if your mom says it's okay, then we can hang out.
You look like you got your furniture off of a curb somewhere.
You look like you can barely figure out how to build IKEA furniture.
At least I have IKEA furniture and didn't get mine off of a curb.
I would say a curb couch is better than an IKEA couch because then at least I don't have to put it together.
Well, you don't know what's been in the curb couch. Or on the curb couch.
Nah, but knowing Dark, he'd try to pronounce the name of his couch. Oh, jeez, my
The
headset
the
just winked at me.
Hadaj.
Yeah, knowing Dark, he would try to pronounce the name of his couch and end up summoning a demon.
I don't see a downside to this.
You look like you burn water.
It's only on Tuesdays. That's why Tuesdays are going. That's why they're for tacos.
You look like you were picked last on the dodgeball team in high school.
You're more disappointing than an unsalted pretzel.
I like unsalted pretzels.
There's something wrong with you then.
I prefer unsalted pretzels. Because sometimes they put too much salt.
For the record, if anybody's actually listening, Shockwave and I get along just great.
Oh yeah, this is 100% us just bullying each other for the fun of it. I don't know what your problem is, but I'm guessing it's hard to pronounce.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I've got a list of things wrong with me. I think the list that's shorter is what's not.
You look like you came out of a slow cooker.
Okay, you're looking these up. You're looking these up. I'm not.
Yeah? And?
You know what? You're a lot like that itch like in the center of your back that you can't reach, annoying and never goes away.
No.
Joke's on you, I can hyperextend my shoulder.
Same.
I can reach that itch, so suck it.
Mine just pops in and out of socket all the time.
Let's go to the sanctum and see what Bird 3 has for me today. Please give me that yellow shard. I need it.
If laughter is the best medicine, your face would cure cancer.
Jopo said nothing.
Samples over here, if you please.
Help me help you.
God, some of these are so stupid. You're not stupid, you just have bad luck when you're thinking.
You're not... I'm not saying you're the stupidest person alive, but you better hope the person who is doesn't die.
Working in the sector now. Come on. So many. Let's at least pretend this mess can still
Jopo.
Somewhere out there, there's a tree working very hard to produce oxygen so that you could breathe. I think you should go and apologize to it.
Yeah, I remember having to carry around a house plant when I was in the service.
Oh god.
You look like a before picture.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
that one. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's another good one. Hey, your village called. They want their idiot back.
I mean, everybody's heard that one.
That's a great story, but what chapter do you shut up in?
Like I said, you were looking all these up, though. There's a difference.
Yeah, and?
Alright, so Bird 3 does not have a yellow shard. Bird 3 has a blue Archon shard. However, there is this amazing thing called Deep Archimedia and Netrocells. And I need one more yellow shard. Do you want to run some Netrocells with me?
Sure. I got a good one. And this isn't one that I came up or that I found. This is one that I came up with.
Okay.
You're so ugly you make Happy Meals cry.
Damn. You're so ugly. You make happy.
You're a few crayons short of the whole box, aren't you?
Yeah, because I ate them.
I know. I like the red ones. They're my favorite.
No, they're a little bit too chalky.
No, I really like the red ones. They crumble just enough without, like, falling apart. I know a lot of people like the green ones, but red are definitely my favorite. Just for the record, my wife bought me, like, crayons that are, like, made of chocolate that actually write for Christmas a few years back. Or for my birthday, I think.
That
Yeah,
is
it's last year for your
incredible.
birthday.
Send me an invite.
And I actually ate them.
Yeah, of course you did.
I ate the red one first. Dauntless, I assume you're going to run too?
Yes.
D! Hello, D.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for hopping into the stream. Make sure you hit that like button. I appreciate all of it. Really does make a difference. Get the stream out there.
Should I run Saren or should I play it safe and run Mesa?
Play it safe. Run Mesa.
Okay. Because I know they changed it to where you don't have to get the enemies inside the radius. You have to be in the radius.
Correct. Which makes it a lot easier.
Hold on. Do I have orange shards? Crap, I do have orange shards on Mesa. I thought of a really dumb idea for a build for Mesa.
Have a great night, D. Okay, hit me.
Blast on the regulators.
Wouldn't scale with Cascadia Flare. So you'd have to run... What Archon Shard is Blast?
It's orange, but it's not. It's not the increased secondary crit chance.
Right, but which one is it? There's one that actually scales off a Blast. I think.
Let's see. Archon shards. Usage fusion. There we go. Crimson. One of them is gain health per enemy killed with blast damage. Oh, that's overall health. Or regen shields when you kill enemies with blast damage, but that doesn't grant over shields.
I wouldn't necessarily use that for Mesa then.
No. Ooh, that could work on Frost.
It could, yes.
Like even if it's just one shard.
Maybe. Let's talk about that as we go in. Netra cells, let's see. And Poodle Tips! My good buddy Poodle Tips, say hi to the stream. We are live.
Hi to the stream.
Alright. My buddy Poodle Tips just hopped in. This is my good buddy for many years. He has been one of my good supporters for some of my servers that I've run. He has helped run some of those for me, so he's fantastic. What are you up to tonight, Poodle? Also, Poodle, Shockwave, Poodle. I believe you've met Dauntless.
Yo.
Yes.
Okay,
Somebody's got a fan running in the background.
that would be Dauntless's
It's
AC.
me. It's loud as shit.
All right, are we gonna go straight into the Netracell now, or Poodle? What are you up to?
I don't know what I'm doing. Probably gonna.
Are you?
Work
Did
on my
you?
Arch server.
Nice. Did you see that Satisfactory is now out of early access?
I did. I'm very, very thrilled about that.
My boy's been playing it and he really likes it. The artifacts actually do something now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm gonna have to. I had to reinstall everything on my computer the other day, and I do not have my Epic store installed yet.
Well, Poodle, I don't know if you are subscribed to my channel or not, but please go ahead and do that. And also, if you're listening and like what you see, by all means, hit that subscribe button. I stream every Wednesday night and Sunday night, usually 10 to midnight.
Sell out.
Self-plug.
Yes, I am a subscriber. I have subscribed. I like your streams.
Well, hop into the stream and then like this one. Shut up,
there we
Shockwave.
go.
All I hear is sell out.
Nice.
All right, let's do this thing.
I don't know. It just went to
This is
transference.
gonna hurt.
And it was just like, you wanted to use it? I said no.
These pillars. Choose your pain. It's the only way to open a Netracell.
Hang on, don't do anything yet.
Wait for me to load it.
All right, what do we got?
Conductive, Vanquisher,
Vampire.
Frame Curse, and Vampire. I can do Vampire and
Well,
Vanquisher.
Dauntless is running Revenant, so she can run Vampire.
Yes, but can Dauntless kill enemies fast enough?
And get to it.
I mean, as long as you have Mesmer Scan active, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, does Vampire proc Mesmer Skin?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Frame
Then,
Curse.
hang on, Dauntless, take
Vampire.
Conductive then,
Why would Dauntless take Conductive?
because that was the electricity one. If she's got Mesmer Skin up, then she can avoid that damage.
Right, but she should take Vampire. I'll take. I could take Conductive or Vanquisher. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, I got Vanquisher.
You got Vanquisher? Okay,
Do you want me to take Frame Curse then?
Yes, I'll take Conductive because I move a lot. So
I don't. Oh, I dropped
Got
that.
your glyphs. So,
I didn't do it.
hit the terminal and proceed to the lab.
Can you my good friend, can you give us your best woo? Thank you.
have a new woo.
The Netracell is hidden somewhere in these labs. Slip it out yourself.
I need to get cooking.
Control the terminals. Hooked up.
Okay. I'm going for him.
Okay.
Get that guy.
He summoned it. Ah. Oh, I hope that I
God.
Muted for that. I got the big guy. And he downed me through. Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Dallas, just pick me up.
Screw it. I'm coming back. Are you down? Are you gone?
I got him.
Nope.
Oh, that was really close.
They decided to stop attacking at the time. I'm okay with it.
Got him. Okay, I'm gonna start going for the doors.
Trying to top off on energy first? Okay. Let's head the doors.
I'm getting red crits on my melee.
Nice.
Ah.
Okay, let's just move.
You turn that down, please. Good, please.
He said no.
I got this guy. I'm close enough to him.
Drop.
Maybe I'm not. Oh no, he got it. He got him. He got him. It's a bone widow though.
Yeah, I have a mattress.
Alright. He's down.
I was credited for his kill. I'm okay with that.
Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Shockwave, you should slow down.
Why?
Because
Just
we are
getting the-
way
the
back here.
computers. I know, I'm just getting the computers. I'm not gonna start it.
Oh, I love this place.
Huge.
It is huge, but it looks amazing.
Oh, for sure.
Alright, go
Using
ahead.
Key glyphs will open the Netracell, so be ready.
Alright, time to murder.
We ain't done. Local threats are triggering a security override. Clear out the uglies to pop the door.
I got this door.
Oh, I got this one. I'm close to it.
Okay.
Necromites. Trying to lock this thing down. Take them out. We ain't got all day.
Is it up there somewhere? Yep. I'm glad I knew where that was. That's one that was up in like the head of something.
Mm.
Yeah, we got another bone widow or void rig in here. I got it. I got it. Oh, he's going down quick. Done. There's an Uncharted Lanthorn over here.
Got it.
Alright. There, I believe. Right by the necro coil.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Where are you?
Second floor.
You got him?
It was a Leech Eximus. It hit me right when my Shatter Shield ran out.
They like to
Ah! No! Bad Jade Eximus.
Necromites are slowing us down.
That one's a different direction. Oh, it's here somewhere.
Where
Oh,
is
where's
he?
your Jade?
Got him.
Okay.
Why are they not coming?
Which way? That way? Because that's where the Netracell door is.
Hell yeah, let's do this thing.
Albrecht didn't want anyone in here. I want to know why.
I think the reason why we haven't done Netrocells for a while is because last time we gave them nightmares.
Pardon?
Last time Dark and I did a Netrocell,
Pet, you can make
He
use
died.
of that.
I ended up finishing it.
I was very upset about it.
Yeah. Didn't mean to. It was like when I was like just starting to. And so. And it's like, what do you mean save me?
Hi.
Tauforged yellow? Tauforged yellow?
Red.
Red. Regular.
Red.
You ding dawns. Let us to work.
Simba, wait.
Simba.
Joko's playing Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry, Kingdom Hearts 2. There is a difference.
I have no need for blue shards right now. However, we could do the Archon hunt if you want.
These carviers seem like jolly fellows. Well, most
What do you think?
Bird 3.
Eh,
What I wouldn't give for some of that optimism.
I could care less.
This is the one with the area lists.
Ew.
Yeah, that's what I thought you would say.
I need Oricon cells.
We could go do Lefantas.
What are you doing up there?
Whatever I want.
Me?
Dark.
I am doing whatever I want. That's kind of the point.
What he does.
I am gonna play my sitar.
Where are you?
Up.
Oh, doesn't mean anything.
Dulles.
There's several
Come here.
up.
Come here. Come to the top of the stairs. See me?
You're floating in midair.
Okay. Turn around.
Which way?
The direction that I am facing. Look
Alright.
at the head. And then
Huh?
look up.
Oh. Wow. you, I'm pretty sure
Oh, I
you're
see how it
bullet
is.
jumping to get to these places, but the way that the
Oh yeah, bullet jumping doesn't show up in
nope, it looks like just walking up.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it looks funny.
Yeah, I get that. That ephemera that shows the Archon shards around you, where do you get that? I don't remember.
calls garrison.
I still need to go do that mission. Because I'm at
You
rank
haven't-
4.
You haven't done anything outside of Failbreaker?
I have. I'm rank 4 with him right now. But, like, the quest there never changes unless you do it.
Mm.
So it's been on the, like, sneaky sabotage one for, like, 6 months for me.
Yeah. Well, then I guess it sounds like you need to do it. Because I'll be honest, the Archon Shard Ephemera, even if I don't have any shards on a Warframe, I'll stick it on. I'll use this ephemera on them because it looks cool. The particle effect on it.
Yeah. Alright, so let's talk some D&D lore. Unless you want to do another Netracell.
I don't really care.
Poodle tips. You play D&D, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Are you
forgot that
actively
you were
part of
here.
any campaigns?
Not at the moment, no.
Would you like to be?
Sure.
Can you dedicate at least one Saturday night a month?
I think definitely I can.
Okay. So, I've been working on my campaign. So, it's referred to as the Tales of Leonin. Alright? Leonin is the world. Primarily, what the world building I've done is on Orthra, which is one of the continents. You know what? Do you have my stream pulled up? Or would you prefer I do actually share screen on Discord?
That doesn't matter to me. You showed me this last time we talked.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
So let's actually talk D&D a little bit. So one of the things that I have in my world that isn't in your standard D&D world is I have the lore of the creator dragons, which is basically the progenitors of the world itself, right? Which is above like the deities that are typically associated to D&D, Bahamut, the god of dragons, and whatnot, as well as many of the others, the Storm Lord, the Traveler, so to speak, and many others, right?
Yeah.
So all of those are there as well. Typically, people tend to associate one particular pantheon to their games, and I want to like incorporate all of the base kind of default ones that are associated to like the player's handbook and the DM's guide and whatnot. But I also want to incorporating the creator dragons, which I talked to you about a little bit, and we've mentioned in the stream in the past already. So let me go ahead and see. Do I have anything pulled up at the moment? Okay, so I have this. Okay, don't need that. Let's go ahead and bring this over here. All right. So in the Tales of Leonin, of course I've got like my base notes here, right? But I also have some other notes. Let's see. Where did they go? Let's see. Maps, go to D&D, go to my Tales of Leonin, go to my lore. I did not save it. It's because I still had it open. That's why. Alright, so each of the continents in Leonin, so Orthra as an example for one of them, has its own creator dragon that is based part of the actual continent and the landscape itself, right? So we've all seen Orthra at this point. But we also have here, we have Infernitum, right? This is another one that I've been working on. Now, I don't have the paid subscription to this, so I can't do the lava or anything crazy like that. This is actually just like red sand. But the idea here is that each dragon itself is part of the landscape, because in the origin of the world, the dragons were responsible for creating their lands, right? And their lands are tailored after their nature. So Infernitum, being a fire dragon or volcanic dragon of some sort, has created this. But there's also some more backstory there as well. Orthra, being an earth dragon, Orthra is very diverse in its landscape and environment. So you have the very fertile lands, you've got some swamp lands, you have the wild lands, you have desert, you have plateau, mountainous, volcano, like it's a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
But you don't really have any ice lands other than obviously in the peaks of the mountain ranges, right?
Exactly, yeah.
However, some of the other areas we have, we've already talked about the Lands of Evernight a little bit, right? It's one of the other continents. It's a very northern continent in an area where the sun never really sets. Or sorry, the sun never really rises. Picture like northern Canada, northern Russia during winter months in the northern hemisphere. So the sun will come up to the horizon but never quite fully rise.
The sun never sets on the Rat Empire.
So with that, we have Umbranus, which is the Lands of Evernight. He is a dark dragon. We have Disordinen as well, the other large central continent, similar to Orthra. However, it is going to be very, very water-based. A lot of islands and such. I still need a name for the Arctic area, kind of the frozen wastes. I don't really have a name for that yet, so what do you think?
That's a good question.
Shockwave, what do you think? Help me world build a little bit. Dauntless, you're in this too?
Yes.
Help me world build a little
Alright.
bit.
Coldlandia. Coldlandia.
No.
The cold area you said?
Yes. The frozen wastes.
Great. So far we have Coldlandia.
I'm thinking.
I'm
I
doing
actually, what I like to do is translate shit.
I mean,
I
yes.
was just doing that. Yep.
Um, uh, Google Translate. Dang it.
I don't know. Well, right now we have Coldlandia.
Terra Frida.
Did you really just Google translate cold land into a different?
I always do.
Jeez.
How about Desero?
What does that mean?
Desert. Forsaken.
I got one. Here we go.
But it's the frozen wastes. It's not necessarily a desert.
Yes, and by definition, a tundra is a desert due to the
It
lack
is
of
definitely
water.
a desert.
I mean, true, it is. Okay, what was the word again?
Desero.
Desero?
Desero.
What language is that?
Latin.
I want something associated to, like, cryo.
Russia. Just call it Russia.
No.
Google
Is it-
Polo.
Is it to the north or the south?
North.
So, the lands of Evernight are very northern. Actually, no, they could
Just call
be
it-
southern.
Just call it Arctica. Because it's not to the south, therefore it's not Antarctica.
True. So, the lands of Evernight are going to be on the southern edge. So, very southern continent. So,
What about Thanda? Or Uttara?
Oro Crystallis. I like it. What language is that Dugokolo in?
That is Bambara.
Banbaro.
Bambara. Bambeara. Bambara. Bambara. I don't know. I don't even know where that's from. Let's Google.
How about just Cryora?
That's nice.
Oh, it's African. I killed Mufasa. I killed Mufasa. Bueller.
You killed me, Fasa.
Bueller.
Alright, anyway. So,
People were quiet.
I think that's really all I need. I've got earth, I've got fire, I've got water, I've got ice, I've got dark. I don't really have a holy land, so to speak. Or like a radiant. Do you think that's something that could be needed for this? But just keep in mind, this is making an entire world. I think 5 is probably enough. But I don't have anything of air either.
Loud noises, dear.
Can't help them, dear.
Hapatata.
It's called air conditioning. That unfortunately,
Well, stop it.
they. Yeah, so I'm waiting to move out of here, and then it'll stop.
So my thought is going to be, I do want kind of an airy place. And I have an idea for that. Ooh, yes, I have a really good idea for that.
But it's loud, silly goose.
I need the name of an air dragon.
Archeon.
As in, like, my name?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose I could, but it's a little presumptuous, don't you think?
No, because I was the one that suggested it, not you. And it was heard here on the stream.
Poodle Shockwave, what do you think?
I like it. It's very air dragony sounding.
See? I am smarticles.
The Floating Isles. That's going to be really cool to go to. Hey, Shockwave. What are your thoughts on the Floating Isles? Imagine a continent. Not necessarily
floats in the air.
not necessarily a continent, but land masses in general. Think. You remember in Avatar? You know, the one with the blue people. They had the land masses that were floating in the sky.
Yes, I have played Minecraft when the Aether was a thing. I know what you're referring to.
Mean.
So of Orthra, but it like moves. It's never in one place for very long.
Yeah.
I want to be a hamster. That sounded so weird.
Hamster.
All right, I think that's good for me. That's 6.
Hamster.
Now I have all of the base plus an ice plus a dark. Oh, my stream. Why? Why?
Okay. Crash again? I did crash again.
Why is my stream not working?
No, it didn't crash
No, it's back
completely.
It's back up now.
I know my internet was kind of a little bit wonky earlier.
It's good.
Okay, good. All right. So part of the tales, I'm gonna have the tales of Leonin literally be part of the lore itself. So for the tales of Leonin, essentially the dragons in the beginning, so to speak, right? They somehow came through the multiverse, plane shifting, whatever it may be, to Leonin. There was nothing there, so they decided to basically make a home for themselves. As creator dragons, they had enormous power over the associated element that they were born into. Therefore, they created their lands, and however, Infernitum, being a creature of fire and destruction, wanted more. It wasn't enough. So, in the process of making the lands for themselves, Infernitum decided to expand more than they should have, causing the volcanic activity to spread and spread and spread, covering a huge portion of its land, and basically was told, you're getting carried away, you need to stop.
That's fair.
And yet Infernitum didn't want to. And so Infernitum, being a creature of fire, had more power to consume than the others. It was dangerous. So the others decided to basically work together and bind Infernitum, not sending him to rest, to his final slumber, as the others would eventually do once they were finished with their respective lands, but to bind him in a stasis in what he had already created to call his home. Eventually, millennia passed, and he was all but forgotten, and the others, finishing their lands, lay down to rest, to finally seek eternal slumber. However, Infernitum is still very much alive, still bound within his hole, still bound within his lands, unable to move, unable to cry out, but awaiting to be awoken. So be good, and go to sleep, or Infinitum will be woken and end the world. And that's basically the story that is told to children about their history. And of course, there is individual worship for each of the dragons in their respective homelands. However, as a whole, it is all of the dragons circled together. So there's the symbol for these dragons is all 5 of them, other than Infinitum, almost in a yin-yang, kind of all coiled together with Infinitum in the center to symbolize their binding of Infinitum. However, that symbol is utilized by followers of Infinitum to show that Infinitum was the most powerful. But not much is truly known about Infinitum other than his insatiable desire for destruction. To watch things burn. I like this. This is going to be good.
It's got nice
Yeah.
bones. Pretty awesome. I like the world building.
So I did add 2 new cities to the Orthra map. The Eyes of Orthra, just north of the Skull Spire along the coast. These cities literally rest in the eye sockets of the skull of Orthra. Which are freaking huge. Now, with that being said, there is, of course, the Skull Spire is still there, up on top of the mountain, which is the very isolated religious practice that is up there, which will be taken into consideration for later for another character. Potentially. I don't know. Probably one of mine. But overall, I very much like the religious order structure because I want to have... D&D has a lot of religious bits into it. And I want to make sure that I incorporate that into the actual background of the world to make it to give it some depth. I definitely want to have an interaction with Bahamut somewhere in there. Because Bahamut is the god of all dragons. So I'm curious to see how I can tie that in with the creator dragons. What are your thoughts, Shockwave?
So far, so good.
Okay. Where are your notes? Yes. Bristol was his name, Dauntless. And he did have a last name too.
Yes. I didn't ask.
You were still
Oh, I see what it
told.
is.
I was yeah.
Yeah,
scared.
I know, and reasonably so. Anyway. So, Poodle Tips. Would you like to make a character?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, do you have D&D Beyond?
I do not.
Pull up a web browser and sign up for D&D Beyond. It is free. You don't need to pay for anything. because I'm listed as a DM, I can actually send you a link to my campaign, and I have all of my content shared, so you can use all of my paid content without paying for it yourself.
Ah, I think I already created an account then last time we talked about this.
Potentially.
Let me see what I did.
Tales of Leonin.
Oh,
Let me
got it.
refresh the page. And I will send you a
Yes.
direct link, if I did not before. I believe I did. I did send you a link before. Yes, I did. But you need to actually
Yes.
create a character to do that. Okay, so do you know how to build a character?
I'm going to say no.
All right. So,
I mean, you're asking, so I mean, I've built characters before,
okay.
but this is a new site.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I can help walk you through it. So let me go ahead and let's just pull up a copy of my character here. So in the character builder, at the very beginning, scroll down, make sure you have homebrew and stuff allowed. You can set a name if you need to. That first create a character section here. Under encumbrance type near the bottom, just make sure you select no encumbrance because it's a rule that I hate using.
Use encumbrance, no encumbrance. Okay.
Then hit next, a little blue arrow.
All right,
All
hold
right.
on. Okay. Next.
All right, so now you pick a class. So among classes, you have all of the things, right? That top core rules and expanded rules, do not select anything from that group because we are not using the 2024 rule sets. So
Gotcha.
under legacy, where it says includes 2014 rules, that's what we're looking for.
2024 rules are cringe.
They really are.
That and they are not balanced whatsoever for the 2014 monsters.
No, they are not. All right.
Is that what we're calling children now?
No, we are not calling children monsters. I remember one of the jokes I heard a long time ago was some man talking to his wife. He was like, "Hey, honey, why are there broken condoms on the couch?" And her response was, "You really got to stop calling the kids that."
Or crotch goblins. That's a good one too.
Yes, crotch
Crouch
goblins.
Goblin is probably my favorite.
I agree.
All right. Anyway, so of all the classes that we have here, a lot of them have subclasses. Almost all of them do, right? Actually, I think all of them do. Yes.
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 So depending on what style of player that you want to be, do you want to be a caster? Do you want to be a thief? Do you want to be a rogue, a fighter, a paladin, a fighter that uses just your fists and maybe a stick, like a monk?
I picked sorcerer.
Okay.
Mainly because that was the same class that I had in my previous character when we were playing the last time. And I like that character.
When
so
we-
I'll try
when-
to replicate it as much as I can.
When we played last, I don't think
No.
think you and I have played.
No,
Okay.
no.
So
Virgil created a character for me.
oh yes. God, that was years ago.
Yes.
I remember that was a fun game.
It really was.
I got very drunk.
You did.
I got very drunk that night, and I may have done some things that I probably should have regretted.
And yet you don't.
Fuck no, I
He
don't.
doesn't even remember what they were.
Oh, I remember what they are.
Oh.
I fully remember that night. That was a
Not that
great
drunk.
night.
Alright.
All right, so let's go ahead and use a sorcerer as an example then, because I do have a sorcerer in my typeset here. So,
I'll be right back. Give me a couple minutes here.
wizard, bard. Okay, maybe I don't. Dauntless, are you okay if I use your character as an example?
Yeah.
Do you do care, or do you not? Like
I
don't?
do not care.
Okay, you do not care. Okay. Just wanted to make sure, because it is your character after all. You are currently level 2.
Jeez, how many players are you gonna have in this game?
Right now there's only 3. I'd like 4 to 5.
Are you counting Jopo?
Not currently.
You're wanting to play, correct? At least once a month.
Jopo says okay. So there's 4.
He needs to come up with a backstory.
Yes, he does. Backstory.
Type into ChatGPT a backstory.
I mean,
Really?
people do that.
Really?
People do that and it works, and if you can actually make it actually fit well with the actual lore of the world, by all means go right ahead. It gives me something to work with, and I have so many ideas on how to mess with you both. So it's going to be a good time. Anyway, Poodle Tips, where are you at right now? So you have your class picked.
You already have a bunch with me.
I mean, yes.
Not in chat.
Poodle Tips, you still there?
He said he'd be right back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why is the Google not working? The Google is not working. There's the Google. I has idea.
Interesting.
Excuse me. I ate ice cream too fast.
And I am back.
All right, welcome back. All right, so you have your class picked. So every sorcerer has what's referred to as a sorceress origin. All right. Unfortunately for this, I don't have a lot of options. I do have Divine Soul, Storm Sorcery. I've got a few options in the expanded rules. As far as the legacy stuff, I've got Wild Magic and Draconic Bloodline. Draconic Bloodline Sorcerer is interesting, part of the base set, but you can set your... I don't know a whole lot about each one of these without really digging into it, but it's not too different. Basically, what the Sorcerer's Origins does is it changes some of the base spells that you learn as you level up.
Ah.
There are a few other tweaks to them, like the Wild Magic, which is what Dauntless's character is. That does some extra stuff, but that could potentially backfire horribly if she doesn't do things right. Or if she rolls poorly.
Fireball.
So, wild magic,
Yeah.
anytime you cast a spell that is level 1 or higher, you have to roll a d20. If you crit fail, roll a natural 1. On that d20 roll, you have to then roll on the wild magic surge table, which is 50 different options that you can roll that happens instantaneously. One of them is casting Fireball at your current location.
Fun.
Yeah,
On yourself.
on yourself. Or you get cursed
That
and your
might-
skin turns vibrantly blue.
The fireball one is especially fun when you're playing as a tiefling or a red dragonborn when you're immune to fire damage.
Resistant to fire damage.
Very nice.
They can both
Yes.
make themselves immune.
I mean, yes, at higher levels.
What is your race? What's Jopo's race?
Uh,
What did he choose?
I don't remember. I don't think we actually built his character all the way. Either way, so you can set whatever sorceress origin you want. As far as your proficiencies are concerned, sorcerers have 2 skill proficiencies that they can use. Your proficiencies are stuff that, for example, here it shows Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, and Religion, right? So as you RP throughout the game, if you're trying to intimidate a person or a character, I may ask you to roll an intimidation check. So you'll roll a d20, and then if you have proficiency in intimidation, you then get to roll the d20 and add your proficiency modifier to that. And your proficiency modifier depends on your level, usually.
Mhm.
So you got a lot of different options here. Typically,
Picking persuasion and arcana.
okay. For spellcasting, that's just going to tell you how your spell slots and your cantrips and stuff work, and we will set for sorcerers. Your spellcasting ability is your charisma.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
when you are actually filling out your stats, you want to have charisma being probably one of your highest, because that's going to be what you use to attack for your spells.
Okay.
All right, now for that's different, but all right. So once you're done with filling that portion out, go ahead and hit next. That'll take you to your background. So go ahead and hit the drop down. There's a lot of different backgrounds that you can pick here. Basically, they are a little bit of history about your character without going into depth. So you can take a criminal background, right? So if you were part of a crime syndicate or part of like a thieves guild growing up or somehow involved in the black market, anything criminal in nature, or a soldier or an acolyte, which is kind of priestly, or like a sage, somebody who studies books, like you were dedicated as a student. And then you have like the expanded sets, a lot of these. So where you see house agent, that is all part of Eberron. Don't go with any of that because I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But as far as the legacy stuff, you can be like a gladiator, you can be a knight, a noble background, a pirate, a sailor, all kinds of stuff. And what each of those do is they give you other skill proficiencies as well as like potentially extra languages, tool proficiencies, potentially even extra spells, depending.
What is a wild spacer?
A what?
A wild spacer.
Where do you see that?
Oh, that's a expanded.
Yes. You could do a haunted one. But I'm not sure what a wild spacer is for a background.
Looks like an asteroid miner, moon farmer kind of.
Yeah, that's probably part of the Spelljammers
Yeah.
stuff.
Choosing Outlander.
Choosing what?
Outlander.
Okay, that's not a bad one. So
Yeah.
you'll then get some languages. Generally speaking, some of the most common languages that you're going to find are going to be Elvish, Dwarvish, Gnomish. Occasionally, you want to come across some of the more rare species. I know Dragonborn, they speak Common and I think one other language. That really depends. Draconic. That
Usually.
Is that an actual language? Yeah, it is a core language. You've got Orc, Primordial, Sylvan, even Undercommon, Celestial, Abyssal. A lot of different options here. Thieves' Cant has its own language. So a lot of these like Humblewood and Cobalt Press and these are actually part of other campaigns, like pre-built campaigns that I just have access to. So I wouldn't worry too much about those. Typically speaking, like I said, Elvish, Dwarvish, Gnomish, they're going to be your really, and maybe Draconic are going to be your really common languages that you're going to see. Potentially Orcish.
Considering I'm an Outlander, I'm Goblin.
Goblin? Okay. That's not bad.
It's kind of just a idea. Should be, since an Outlander history, thinking something like Goblin would be less common.
So as far as the suggested characteristics, you can go through these if you want, but you don't have to. This kind of just helps you build your backstory a little bit.
As far as the musical instruments, how does that?
So musical instruments, when you have a proficiency in a musical instrument, it can help with a performance, like a performance check. Or Outlanders, it doesn't really do anything unless other than like character flavor, unless you're really like a bard who like uses a musical instrument as your bardic inspiration instrument, your spellcasting focus. So it's not really necessary for most characters like a sorcerer. But it's just useful to have that you can have as part of your just kind of your character personality, so to speak, right?
Well, I'm gonna pick Vile.
Well, you can pick anyone you want. Doesn't really matter.
It kind of goes with what I actually play in real life.
Think of an Outlander who's like sitting out, like Wild Wild West Outlander, sitting out playing a harmonica by his horse, like, right? Like that's kind of the idea behind it.
Yeah.
The alert, yeah.
Don't worry too much in regards to like character details for like an alignment or a lifestyle. It doesn't really matter.
Unless I crash. Which you don't happens quite a bit.
For like I was saying, as far as the suggested characteristics, you can go through those if you want. It kind of gives you more backstories for your character specific to your actual background, but you don't have to. It's basically just ideas. Anyway, moving on from that, because you should be done with all the options that you have to check, yeah? The language.
Almost suggested characteristics.
Yeah, you don't have to check any of those if you don't want to. Like I said, those are literally just basically ideas to help you add history and depth to your character associated to the background you chose as an Outlander. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. As far as like physical characteristics, if you want to add details, your hair color, your height, your weight, your eye color, how old you are, your gender, stuff like that, you can add that if you want to, but you don't really need to. You can come back and add that at another time too. So, all right. So go ahead and hit next. Now pick your species. So, one of the things that's important to remember, your spellcasting ability is charisma. There are certain species that give you natural stat buffs based on the race. So, a half orc is going to give you a strength buff. A warforged is going to give you a strength and a constitution buff. A half elf is going to give you a charisma buff. A human is going to give you just a general buff that you can apply anywhere. They're the most versatile. They allow you to add, I think it's 1 to any 3 different stats.
Or if you take a variant human, you get a 2 to a single stat and a 1 to another stat.
Correct.
Versus a regular human, I think is just an extra 1 across the board.
It's not 1 to all stats. It's plus 1 to 3 different stats. I think.
But variant humans also get a free feat at level 1.
That's true. Humans are generally thought to be the most versatile of all races.
Yeah.
Because they're not great in any one thing, they are good at everything.
Humans are jack of all trade race.
Exactly. So you generally want to pick a race that's going to complement your class, but you don't have to. If you pick a race specifically to complement your class, that's kind of like power building, and you can absolutely do that if you want to, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with human.
Okay. You want to do a variant human or a regular human?
Again, tell me the difference.
Variant humans get a free feat at level 1.
So
Basically, if you
so
want to play a human, you play a variant.
Yeah, so a feat is basically a feature, is what it stands for. You can take something like Heavy Weapons Master, which is when you land a critical with a heavy weapon, you can attack again. Or if you land a killing blow with a heavy weapon, you can also attack again. Or you can take something...
Heavy weapons are two-handed.
Yes, or you can take something like the Sentinel feat, which is kind of a defender type thing. If somebody were to attack somebody in your range that isn't you, you get an opportunity attack against them, and their movement is reduced to 0.
Yeah, Sentinel. Well, no, because you're playing a sorcerer, so you wouldn't be able to abuse heavy weapon or Sentinel Polearm Master.
So you could probably take something like Warcaster, which allows you to still cast spells using somatic components while you have weapons in your hands. It also allows you to cast a spell as a reaction instead of a melee attack.
Mm-hmm. Which is the big one.
So what would be better as far as intelligence versus dexterity then?
So intelligence...
Dexterity.
Yeah.
So dexterity is your armor class. How hard are you to hit? Constitution is your health. Obviously your strength is your strength. Your wisdom is... Generally intelligence versus wisdom, the key identifier there is going to be perception versus investigation.
The other part is for saving throws. Intelligence saves are the rarest saving throws in the game.
They are.
There's only like
There's
6
only a
or 7
handful.
different creatures that can that make you make intelligence saves.
So wisdom,
Wisdom
charisma,
saves.
constitution, and dex are your highest, are the most
Yeah,
common ones.
wisdom and dex saves are the two most frequent saves.
Followed by con and dex. Or
Strength.
yes. So what I would recommend for you for your stats, keep species, is doing something where you have. So as far as ability scores is concerned, go ahead and select point buy.
If you're doing a sorcerer, then personal suggestion would be
Charisma through the roof.
charisma as your highest, then dex, then constitution, and then wisdom, and then strength is realistically your dump stat, and intelligence you can make that even, like, just evens.
So can you see the stream, Poodle?
I was looking at my screen. Hang on a sec.
So using Dauntless as an example here, because she is a sorcerer, right? Make sure you select point buy because that's the system that we use for the campaign.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not on that screen yet.
Okay. So you're still on the race?
Yes.
Okay, so down below, once you've picked your race, you'll have that ability score increase.
Yep.
You can select it to whatever you need. Then you should have like
So
a
charisma,
few
yes,
other
for
options.
sure.
Yes, absolutely. You should have a few other options as well. I'm sorry, say that again.
Number 2. Well, I mean, I've got charisma selected first. What's the second best?
Can you put all of them into charisma?
No.
For your racial bonus, no.
So
Your second best would probably be dexterity or constitution.
I'll do dexterity.
dexterity is how hard are you to hit. Constitution is how many times can I hit you.
Right.
Which, for the sake of a sorcerer who is almost as squishy as a wizard, you want better saving throws rather than health. Because you're going to be running away from melee enemies anyway,
Right.
so you want to be able to avoid damage from other spellcasters.
Correct. Generally speaking, sorcerers are going to be your glass cannons.
Sorcerers are more focused than wizards when it comes to their spell list.
Yep.
But that also means that sorcerers relatively consistently do more damage than wizards.
But it
All
does
right, I'm
depend.
on the point. On the ability scores.
All right. So you're on the ability score screen. Go ahead and just make sure you go ahead and select point buy from the drop down.
Yep. Did that.
All right. Go ahead and take your charisma all the way to 15.
Okay.
And then set the rest of your stats however you should desire. Hey, Dauntless.
Yeah.
Your changeling ASI, you have set to Constitution. Do you want to change that to Charisma?
What's my charisma right now?
17 total.
What's my constitution?
14.
Okay. I have set my scores.
I can leave it as is if you want.
Yeah, let's just leave it as is.
Okay. So on your next, your equipment. When did you get a ring of mind shielding?
I've had it. It was a green item.
Oh, right. That's right. We just unequipped it because you're at level 2. Okay. I'm probably going to take that out at some point.
It's my green item.
I know.
I didn't get a green item.
You
Because
said
she
put it in there.
because she ported this over from the other one.
No, you told me to put it in there.
Did I?
Said most. Yeah, you said people get a green item.
At level 5 usually.
Well, then I'm gonna keep it till I'm level 5.
Anyway, as far as starting equipment is concerned, go ahead and hit. You should see choose equipment or gold. Go ahead and hit equipment.
All right.
And then select what you need. So you see one of the options of component pouch or an arcane focus.
Yes.
So an arcane focus is basically like a wand, right? If you have an arcane focus, you don't need material components to cast a spell.
Certain spells.
Most spells.
The key difference in it is that if a spell says that it requires a monetary amount of a given material, then you need that material in order to cast the spell.
Correct.
So like Revivify requires 500 gold worth of diamond dust.
300.
Is it 300?
Revivify is 300, raise the dead is 5.
So do I choose an arcane focus based on core rules or legacy?
Say again?
See a duplicate list.
I'm sorry, say that
Choosing
again?
an arcane focused. There's core rules and legacy, but they both list the same items.
Legacy.
Legacy.
Okay.
Anytime it says core or legacy, go with legacy.
And what's the difference between a Dungeoneer's pack and a Sports pack?
If you click on one, it'll tell you.
Ah, I see this.
If you're doing Outlander, you're probably going to want to go with Explorer's pack.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
So your Outlander's starting equipment also has its own stuff as well.
Yes. Alright, I've got all that selected.
Alright. Then make sure you hit the little red button that says add starting equipment.
Yep.
Alright, go ahead and hit next. And then hit view character sheet.
That looks great.
Alright, so now for your arcane... you should see something similar to what I'm seeing now here. So go ahead and select your inventory. And then just hit the checkbox next to your staff, your arcane focus, whatever it is. Just to like equip your staff.
Yeah.
You can also equip a dagger if you have it. This should not be in here. Let's move this to backpack. This should also be in the backpack. Alright, so now go ahead and select spells.
Spells.
Now,
Okay.
you're probably not going to see anything listed there, other than a few default ones, right?
Right. Yeah, I got Mending, Reduce Flame, and Cure Wounds.
Alright. And Cure Wounds. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and hit Manage Spells.
Okay.
And go ahead and hit the drop down for Add Spells.
Uh-huh.
So just underneath where it says Add Spells, it's going to say Cantrips and Known Spells. A
Yes.
number out of a number. Yep.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Forward to.
Yep. Go ahead and click the 0 under Filter by Spell. That's going to show only cantrips.
Okay.
And then go ahead and pick your cantrips. So generally what I recommend in regards to spells, for any spellcaster, or really any builds in general, you want a healthy mix of something that's going to help in combat as well as RP. So I want my campaign to have a decent bit of both. There may be some days, like in the campaign, where there's no combat at all over the course of a 2 to 4 hour camp session. But there could be, depending on how things play out. There are others where it's going to be mostly combat as well. So you want to have a good, healthy mix of what's going to be for useful outside of combat, something like dancing lights, or light, or message, or mending even. But then you're going to also want something for combat, like shocking grasp if something gets too close, or poison spray, or even firebolt, right? So you want to have a good mix. And ultimately, it's entirely up to you. Hey, Dauntless, we did not make a new picture, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Did we? Did I update it?
You were supposed to. I thought you did.
I thought I did too.
Okay, I got my 4 cantrips.
I did not. I will do that later. Alright, so you have your four cantrips. Go ahead and uncheck the 0 and hit first and click uncheck the first. Now you have your first level spells. Is it warlocks that cast at highest level or sorcerers?
Yes.
So it's warlocks, okay. So your first level spells are variant. If there's something that only shows legacy and there isn't a one that doesn't show legacy, that's okay too. You don't need to. For these, you can
you're gonna
pick
want to go
either
off
one.
all off legacy spells.
Not all of them. Some are different. Some of the actual damage dice is different.
Yes, but we want to go off of legacy spells because those are the 2014 spells.
Most of them are identical. For any spellcaster, Shield is probably going to be one of the best spells for you early on, because it's going to increase, as a reaction, anytime you're hit by an attack or targeted by the magic missile spell, it gives you a +5 bonus to your armor class. That way it can basically deflect the damage. And
your go-to defense spells are going to be shield and mage armor.
Correct.
Which is why mage armor is why you want to increase your dexterity, because the higher your dexterity, the better mage armor gets.
So as you're picking your spells, we can work on your backstory a little bit later. For the moment, it's actually past my 2-hour mark. So the stream has been wonderful. We played some Warframe, did the weekly reset stuff, and then we did a Netracell. Overall, it was a great night. We got into the D&D campaign, did some world building. We got Poodle Tips over here building a character for the campaign, and I'm gonna end up doing a session 0 with him at some point in the near future. That will not be streamed. That is something that is going to be private with him and I. That way his backstory is not spoiled for the other characters. Now, with that in mind, though, I thank you all for watching tonight. I really appreciate y'all. If you've enjoyed what you've seen tonight, go ahead and hit that like button. And, of course, I do stream every Wednesday and Sunday night, typically 10 to midnight, sometimes a little bit earlier. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, get that bell on to be notified when I go live. And other than that, Once again, down in that description below is links to the Trevor Project. Look into it. Great organization. And I will catch you all on the next one.